Hello. Today I will tell you about the top 7 anime that were released in January of this year. This list will include both completely new anime as well as those that were released in previous years and have received sequels this year. Don't forget to subscribe and also leave a like if you enjoy this video. Enjoy watching. The Apothecary Diaries. And right away, a brief recap of the first season, in case you haven't seen it. But if you have, it's time to refresh your memory. One day, the hardworking Mao Mao was sent on an errand by her father to deliver medicine to a client. A renowned apothecary, he had taught his beloved daughter all the intricacies of medicine. The young herbalist enjoys conducting various medical experiments on herself, which is why she often stops on her way home to gather rare herbs. On one unfortunate day, she was kidnapped by slave traders and taken to the red light district. For 3 long months, Mao Mao was forced to work for her captors, yet she never stopped thinking about escaping slavery. Meanwhile, rumors began circulating in the pleasure district about a mysterious illness claiming the lives of the emperor's heirs. Mao Mao learned about the symptoms from a friend, allowing her to diagnose the disease. However, the maidservant decided to examine the patient herself. This reckless act set in motion colossal changes in her life, as she suddenly found herself with a real chance to earn her longed-for freedom. As for the second season, it will unravel numerous mysteries and secrets surrounding various characters. But what exactly will happen? You'll have to see for yourself. Solo Leveling, an anime that won the award for Best Anime Series, definitely deserves your attention. A few years ago, mysterious gates began appearing all over the world, unleashing hordes of monsters led by powerful bosses. At first, the military attempted to eliminate the threat using conventional methods, but all efforts ended in failure. Soon, individuals with unique abilities and rare skills emerged. They were called hunters. These fearless warriors were ranked according to their strength and power. Sung Jin-woo had no remarkable abilities or exceptional physical strength. A hunter's rank is determined at the moment of awakening, and there is no way to change it. The young man always joined monster raids alongside a group of other weaklings, which meant he barely earned enough money. However, he desperately needed funds for his mother's medical treatment, as she had been in a coma for a long time. During one of these missions, the team found themselves trapped in a mysterious location. Faced with an inescapable situation, the boy had no choice but to accept his fate, believing it was the end. No one knew what awaited them in that eerie chamber filled with stone statues and inscriptions in an ancient, forgotten language. But don't worry, if you haven't watched the anime yet, here's a spoiler. The protagonist survives and gains the opportunity to become stronger. To do so, he must level up, both through battle and relentless training. In the second season, he will be drastically different from who he was in the first season, which is only natural. After all, the leveling system has completely transformed him. Now, let's imagine what happens when a top-tier assassin falls in love with a girl and decides to leave his past behind. That's right, you get the anime Sakamoto Days. In the criminal underworld, assassins rarely earn the title of King of Assassins, but Taro Sakamoto more than deserved it. He completed the most difficult missions without ever encountering an obstacle he couldn't overcome. No predecessor, nor any of his countless successors, could match the skills of this master hitman. One day, Sakamoto walked into a store and saw a charming shop clerk who immediately caught his eye. Things escalated quickly, and before he even realized it, he was married, with a little daughter running around. His wise wife asked him to leave his assassin career behind and start earning an honest living. So, the former hitman opened his own convenience store and now works as a regular shopkeeper. But changes didn't just happen in his life. His appearance changed as well, as he put on quite a bit of weight. One day, an unexpected visitor walks into his store. Shin Asakura, a former colleague who deeply admires Sakamoto's legendary skills. However, Shin didn't come just to say hello. The young assassin was given a mission to bring the King of Assassins back into the underworld. Refusing to cooperate meant triggering the protocol for total elimination. This anime is packed with action while still maintaining a warm and entertaining vibe. I highly recommend it, especially since it's one of the best new releases of January this year. Sports anime keeps getting better every year, but what happens when you mix the established sports genre with school life and romance? You get Blue Box. This anime started airing back in October 2024, but it's still ongoing and continues to gain popularity, attracting more and more viewers. That's why I decided to include it in this list. Now let's go over a brief backstory. Every morning, Taiki Inomata rushes to the school gym to start his training. After all, he dreams of surpassing the best badminton players. The young athlete puts in a lot of effort to achieve his goals. However, someone always beats him to the gym. Chinatsu Kano, a charming basketball player who tirelessly perfects her shooting accuracy. Recently, Chinatsu experienced the bitter taste of defeat in a competition, which only strengthened her resolve to push past her limits. Taiki doesn't just admire her dedication, he also finds her incredibly cute. Wanting to grow closer to Chinatsu, Chinatsu, he keeps looking for the right moment to talk to her, but that moment never seems to come. Meanwhile, Hina Chono, who has caught wind of Taiki's feelings, constantly teases him about his crush. He does his best to ignore her and instead focuses on preparing a speech to finally ask Chinatsu to spend some time alone with him. But then, fate suddenly presents them with a unique opportunity, one that will change their lives forever. All of you know the anime Dr. Stone. This year, the 4th season, titled Science Future, was released. But before diving into it, let's go over a quick recap for those who haven't watched the series. One fateful day, humanity met its end when a mysterious rift appeared in the sky. The moment this unknown phenomenon occurred, a green light engulfed the world, turning every human into stone statues. No one had the chance to understand what was happening. Around 3,000 years passed after this catastrophe, and the world regressed to a prehistoric state. Cities were overrun by vines, and what once were bustling metropolises became dense, overgrown jungles. Taiju Oki awakened from his petrified slumber, only to find himself surrounded by countless stone statues. Though physically strong, he lacked scientific knowledge, but he didn't let despair take over. Determined to find any other survivors, he set off on a search. Luck was on his side, as he soon stumbled upon his best friend, Senku Ishigami, who had awakened 6 months earlier. Unlike Taiju, Senku possessed a brilliant mind and vast scientific knowledge. In the time since his revival, he had already made great strides in research. Not only had he built a treehouse, but he had also established a primitive laboratory where he worked tirelessly every day. Together, they joined forces to find a way to revive the petrified remnants of humanity. Now, in the new season, the main characters will face entirely new challenges, encounter new allies and enemies, and with the grand conclusion of the anime drawing near, the stakes have never been higher. Everyone dreams before falling asleep. Some dream of a better life, while others fantasize about elves in another world. Just like the protagonist of Welcome to Japan, Ms.Elf, people have their own ways of dealing with stress and the exhaustion of daily routines. Hardworking Kazuhiro Kitase always returns home with a smile, as he has had a special ability since childhood. He can fully immerse himself in dreams. Over time, he pushed this unique skill to its limits, allowing him to travel through an imaginary world and interact with its inhabitants as if it were real. During battles, Kazuhiro is often defeated by powerful opponents, but instead of dying, he simply wakes up in his own world. Recently, he has been visited by a charming elf named Ms.Elf, an adventurous spirit always seeking excitement. One day, the two embarked on yet another perilous journey. Along the way, they encountered a massive dragon that unleashed a powerful spell, engulfing the brave warriors in flames. Overwhelmed by the enemy's strength, Kazuhiro once again woke up in his bed, just like always. Except this time, something was different. Ms.Elf had somehow returned to the real world with him. The elf was completely shocked. After all, she had just been in the middle of a battle, and now she found herself half naked in a stranger's bed. To make matters worse, Kazuhiro looked completely different from his dream self, leaving the warrior utterly bewildered. Bogus skill Fruitmaster. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited numbers of skill fruits that kill you. A brand new anime that debuted in the middle of January this year, magical fruits have long been the deciding factor in a person's future. Once consumed, these mystical fruits grant teenagers a unique ability. However, priests have always warned that eating more than one could result in sudden death. Light Underwood had always dreamed of becoming an adventurer, slaying fierce monsters and helping those in need. His childhood friend, Lena Floria, shared the same ambition, so the two ventured to the temple to partake in the legendary fruit. As a result, Lena gained a rare and powerful ability, allowing her to embark on the path of an adventurer. Light, however, wasn't so lucky. The boy ended up with the Fruitmaster skill, a power useful only for farmers. Devastated, he wandered off to visit a friend, Ayla Lawrence, who prepared him a special dish. Unbeknownst to her, Ayla had accidentally added a magical fruit to the meal. This mistake could have been fatal for Light, but by some miracle, not only did he survive, he also gained a second ability. Determined to test his newfound power, Light immediately set out in search of an enemy. His first battle against a slime turned out to be laughably easy, much to Ayla's delight, and thus began his journey to uncover the full extent of his combat potential. And with that, my top list comes to an end. Let me know in the comments which anime you think should have been included. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos where I talk about upcoming anime and sequels that have been announced.